All right, everyone, welcome back. Fans and critics alike regarded Deus Ex Human Revolution as a terrific work from the talented team at Eidos Montreal, and now we're going to see what happens when we take the game out of the living room and onto a tablet. Maybe not out of the living room. You can play your tablet in the living room also, but you can play it anywhere, which is the nice point. So Deus Ex The Fall is a standalone title for the iPad that takes place in the same world as Human Revolution. And I'm joined by James Wright, mobile producer for Square Enix Europe, and Jean-Francois Dugas. I almost got it without stumbling. I had to practice his name because it's very French.
Exactly.
Correct. And you're the executive game director on this new title. Correct. Thank you both for being here with me.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
So, how has E3 been for you so far? Have you guys been able to get out of the booth a little bit and wander around?
Not that much, actually. We went a bit around, but like since we always have meetings and we're presenting Deus Ex The Fall, I think I'm going to watch more videos when I come back home.
Yeah, you have to play catch up because
Exactly.
you're tethered to the booth.
It's been pretty kind of back to back, but I might get some time this afternoon just to pop around and have a look around.
Well, that's great. It's great that it's been back to back and that there's interest in the fall for sure. So we're going to start off with a couple of questions for you guys, and this one is one that I have to ask. So there's a different protagonist in Deus Ex The Fall than the star of Human Revolution, and the first thing I want to know about him is, did he ask for this? I've been waiting to use that this entire time.
That's good.
I scripted it and I was like, yes.
I like it.
Did he?
Yes, he asked for it. He was like, come on, there's Adam Jensen with a game. I come from the Icarus Effect novel. It's a book, and I want to have my game too. And so we listened to
He
it.
approached you personally. He
Exactly.
said, let's make this happen. Okay, so what is his name?
Ben Saxon.
Okay, and so you were saying that he's directly from one of the Deus Ex novel. What was it called again?
Icarus Effect.
Yes.
Yes.
So can you expand a little bit on the character?
Well,
Sure, yeah. So Ben Saxon's a really interesting character. He is an ex-British SAS mercenary. He used to be a member of the group, the Tyrants. So the Tyrants are the gang that Adam Jensen fought in Human Revolution. So that's Fedorova, Barrett, and Namir. So you actually start the game off as one of the Tyrants, which is really cool. So. Ben eventually discovers that the Tyrants were lying to him, and so he's on the run from the Tyrants. So in the Icarus Effect novel, you get to read about that journey, and our game picks up directly where the novel finishes.
Very cool. So this is actually a question that I've heard a couple of times, and I'm interested to know the answer to. Have you guys ever considered a female protagonist?
Absolutely, it's something that we considered early on, especially because with the Icarus Effect, we follow the adventures of Ben Saxon and also Anna Kelso. So basically, we had the choice, but we were running on a very tight schedule, and to be honest, like it was easier to go with a male protagonist because we already had the assets, the animations and things like that, and it was a decision that was made from a production standpoint more than from a creative standpoint.
Okay, that's interesting to know. What were the challenges in translating Deus Ex into the tablet? I have to imagine that there were many, but that it's looking great. So you guys are obviously overcoming those.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there were many challenges. Primarily the controls. So Deus Ex Human Revolution, was on console and or on PC with a keyboard and mouse. And so obviously we didn't have that. So for us the challenge was in creating an authentic Deus Ex experience where you had the choice of action, stealth, gameplay, as well as social interaction and hacking. So setting out to retain that experience, but not trying to shoehorn the controls of a console and PC game, into the mobile platform. So for us, it was a case of building the game from the ground up and really focusing on the controls and making sure that we streamline many aspects. And I'm not going to go into full detail, but there's certain areas that we've changed, like for example the way you run and jump. So we've made running automatic, so it's not a separate button. Jumping has been replaced with vaulting, so that basically allows us to still have the same experience, still be able to explore different areas, and not have to worry about first-person platform action, which is great when you have a controller, but not so good, on a touchscreen display.
Okay.
So it was all about making it fluid for the tablet while maintaining all the choices, the interesting choices that were found in Human Revolution, the moral choices, the gameplay choices, etc. So it was all about finding the right solutions that would help us maintain a real Deus Ex experience.
Okay. And along those lines then, do you guys feel that we're at a point that the tablet experience can be comparable to something on consoles or PC?
Well, I mean, I can speak for James, but from my perspective is tablets or PC or consoles, like tablets today are more powerful than ever. And at some point it just becomes about creating great games and delivering them where players want to play them. And I think in the future it's going to go more and more in that direction. So
on the go.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, it's I'm more looking into making the best experience as possible, whatever the platform is. So.
Yep. You have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, no, I agree. And so, we've really seen the technology and the hardware mature over the last couple of years. So we've got better screens, better processing powers and graphic chipsets. And so, what we're seeing is really rich, immersive experiences. And so, certainly with Deus Ex 4, we've got console-like gameplay depth and experience actually on the platform, and I think that's really exciting. And certainly not just with Deus Ex, but with other franchises, not just made by Square, but for me as a gamer, the fact that we'll be able to now experience those on the go, not just at home, I think that's really, really, really exciting.
Yeah. So JF, we're shortening it to your initials.
It's fine.
From a creative perspective, how does working on a different platform and developing for a different platform change your approach?
Well, one of the first things that we did with James, it's partner with a great studio to develop Deus Ex The Fall, and we've been developing it with Enfusion. It's a company based in New Jersey, and those guys had a lot of mobile experience in the first place, and us, we're coming from the console PC world and everything, and we didn't want to pretend that we had that kind of experience ourselves and everything.
Yep.
And we partner with them, and they were also great Deus Ex fans and everything. And in our early conversations, when we started to work on that product, they were already able to tell us about certain things that would work really well and others that wouldn't work really well, and that we would have to work to find some solutions and everything. So early on, we always kept an open mind into what they could bring with their own experience and how it would affect the Deus Ex experience. And for me, the challenge was more to it was not as much as a challenge as much as I had to have the right mindset and be open to the changes needed for the game and everything. It has been a great collaboration. So I learned a lot with those guys, actually.
Yeah. James, from a production standpoint, how does it work collaborating between the two teams? What's the workflow like with you guys?
So in terms of how it works, I mean, we all kind of bring something unique to the table. So Enfusion are an experienced mobile developer. They are massive fans of Deus Ex. They simply ooze talent. They're absolutely incredible. In terms of, I'm a producer. I work for Square Enix Mobile, based in London. So a lot of us there have many years in taking established franchises and getting those onto tablet and smartphone. So some of us have been doing it for over 12 years. So that's kind of what we bring to the table. And obviously, in terms of the guys in Eidos Montreal, they created Human Revolution. They spent the last 4 years. So it's a case of kind of bringing everyone together with the shared goal of making a great Deus Ex experience and kind of working through that. So I won't necessarily go through the exact workflow, but for us, we all brought something unique to the table, and then we combined that to make the experience that we've created.
You guys really are all over. You're dotted all over the map. That's got to be challenging, but at the same time very cool, because you're taking the most talented and appropriate people for the jobs, no matter where they are. And I like that.
So we work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Time zones, those get tricky sometimes when you're collaborating, but yeah. Great. JF, how has Eidos Montreal preserved the unique flavor of Human Revolution in this game?
Well, a bit like James just said, a lot of the core team members of Deus Ex Human Revolution have been involved in that project. We had Meagan Marie, which was the narrative director on Human Revolution, that was part of it. JJB, also the art director, was also supportive and gave his shared his knowledge for the visuals and everything. And we also had James Swallow, like the guy who wrote the Icarus Effect, involved. So for us, it was all about making sure that the different aspects that the core team we were bringing to Human Revolution, that those people would work also with the Enfusion people and with James and everything, to make sure that we're able to recreate it, because we're a team where we like to go into the details, and we want everything to be really like perfect and everything. So it's something that we were bringing on the table and working with the story with them and everything, and understanding like the constraints and how we would adapt certain aspects of the game and everything. So so it was all about making sure that the core team would have some sort of an involvement and help the guys at Enfusion.
Bring in the right talent to the table. I like that.
Yeah, and it's and I must add, I think you guys have been on tap pretty much from day one in terms of the experience. So and that's been incredibly helpful, and the level of detail we've been able to go through, not just from creating the script from concept through to completion, but it's even stuff like the emails and ebooks and pocket secretaries that you will pick up and read in the game. Having Mary DeMarle and James Swallow look at the emails and say, actually, that character wouldn't speak like that because their grammar's not as good. And it's kind of that which has really helped retain the consistency of the world that's been created.
Yeah. And another thing that was also really interesting, the way we like to work, is that when we partner with a studio or something like that, we like them to be involved in the creative process. So with the fall, the Enfusion guys have been proposing a lot of stuff, and even the story and everything. So they had their own creative input on top of our support and everything. So
great. Do players need to be familiar with Human Revolution to start off with the fall? And just to expand a little bit on that, can you guys touch a little bit on the narrative, just the basic premise of the fall?
Right. Like we said earlier, you play as Ben Saxon. You're a former SAS British mercenary. And at the beginning of the game, you're on the run, and actually that's where the book Icarus novel ends. And you need to hide from your former employers, the tyrants, like we said. And the thing is that Ben Saxon doesn't have the same DNA as Adam Jensen. Adam Jensen can accept augmentations without having to use neuroposin, a drug that is used to as an anti-rejection thing. But Ben Saxon doesn't have that. So he needs to take the neuroposin, and at the beginning of the game he's running out of that, and he needs to go in the streets and expose himself and try to find some supply. And as he goes into this, he's going to start to discover that there's something bigger happening about the shortage of the neuroposin and everything. So that's a little bit the premise of the game, and it happens roughly at the same time as Adam Jensen is recovering from his injury of Human Revolution. And the way we build it in a way that it can be played alone without having played Human Revolution or even read the Icarus Effect. Actually, at the beginning of the game, we have kind of some flashbacks, gameplay flashbacks, in which we retell some aspects of the novel story, so players can understand who the character is, what kind of world it is, and etc. So.
Yeah, so you don't need any prior knowledge, but there are reoccurring characters from the book, characters from Human Revolution, and indeed other Deus Ex titles as well. So if you're a fan of the series, there's going to be lots for you to enjoy here.
And this is a big question, what's the master plan for the fall? Are we going to expect some further installments? Is this kind of foretelling in some way?
Yeah, so we are saying that this is the start of the story on the mobile and smartphone platform. So it will continue. We're not really talking about what form that will take right now, but yes, the story will continue. So it is the beginning for us.
Something to look forward to. Finally, do you have any words for fans out there, or any other points you want to touch on in terms of gameplay or anything?
Well, for myself is I know that there are some fans at first that were shocked by the news, like, oh, it's the next Deus Ex is on the mobile devices and everything. What I can say is that please try it. Look at the game.
Yep.
It's really a real Deus Ex game. It was our goal to make something that will be quality, so we wouldn't get ourselves into that if it wasn't the case. And it's not because we're doing that we're exploring other territories that it's the end of the console of
Yep.
or the PC game. So my last word is be patient.
Okay. Anything from you?
Not really. I think for me, it's been 12 months of really hard work of trying to make a unique Deus Ex experience, which is true to the brand. And I think the initial response that we've had from fans who've come along to the show today to play the game, and from some of the first impressions has been positive. So as JF says, just play the game and see what you think, and let us know.
Great. I think we're all looking forward to seeing more of it. Thank you both for being here.
Our pleasure.
We're actually going to, our trailer lineup is slated next, but we're going to take a little bit of time and go off air. Don't panic. We're going to try to figure out a little audio issue you guys have been mentioning on the stream. So we're going to reset and then come back with the trailers after that. We'll have more great content for you. So stick around.